Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? We're back. Today, I just want to basically start fresh. A lot of you have been on the stream for a long time. You know that we usually do more advanced or intermediate stuff. Because we're diving into the latest models and we're digging into the craziest stuff that AI generally has to offer. But instead, I was thinking today it would be much more interesting if we sort of went back and tried to figure out how this all works, how everything works, what Comfy Hub is, what Comfy Cloud is, right back from the very beginning, what generative AI even is. Everything's moving so quickly now that it's hard to even pay attention to what's happening week to week, let alone month to month, let alone what happened last year, what's happening next year. So yeah, just want to basically give a very simple overview of what we can do and sort of how you can, instead of trying to understand the entire landscape, I'm going to try and teach you how to figure out what you want to do and then dive in that way. I find that method works very well for just bringing stuff into your brain, understanding what models do what and what models do what well, because people in the community are already choosing these models and making these workflows and wrapping them and making them accessible in a way that lets you play with them and try out different stuff. So welcome. We're going to jump over to Comfy Hub right away. I'm not even going to waste any time. Okay. So Comfy Hub, this is comfy.org/workflows. I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. This is your gateway, and we are just building it right now. This is still pretty alpha, but we'd like you to try it out and let us know how it goes. But essentially, this website is a repository for community workflows by me, by Rob, by Enigmatic E. We're onboarding creators in the community every day. I'm trying to basically make this the best place you can go to get all the workflows and things you need. So basically, yeah, this is the idea of this place is essentially, I want to do something cool. How do I do that thing? And with this, you can search, you can just see what's new. You can search by all the different creators. Rob's here, I'm there. We got Shane F3D, Sirloim, Sirolim. I never say his name right. Minta, we got Julian. You guys may know MJ from the streams. Enigmatic E, Doug, Oenis, Ingy. Doug was on the stream last week. Very awesome. Doc Workbox, who won a bunch of our Comfy streams. Anyway, Comfy challenges. Anyway, the point is we're building this out. Eventually, it will be open to more and more people, but right now we kind of manually dealing with it as we build it out. So you'll have to bear with us. We're not picking and choosing creators. We're just getting there. So please apply up here at the top. You'll see this apply to join button. And as soon as we open it up, we'll open it up to everybody and y'all can jump in and start playing. But for now, I just want to highlight some of the stuff that's here already and sort of how you would interact with this, just as a fresh user. If you already know how to use Comfy, if you're already deep in the Comfy ecosystem, that's great. You can ignore you can ignore the the intro here. But for those of you who haven't ever used Comfy or know what Comfy is, it's essentially a generative AI platform that connects both open source and closed source models on either your local hardware, rented hardware, or on the cloud. Basically, any GPU you can get access to. One of the things to remember that local use in Comfy is more difficult with an AMD or a Mac, just because of the nature of diffusion models. So bear that in mind. It might work. It will definitely be slower, and you will definitely run into problems. But it's not to say it is impossible. So just a little asterisk there for all the Mac users and all the AMD users. It works, but it's not great. LLMs work awesome. Images are good, but video is still pretty much NVIDIA domain, just because of the nature of the way the diffusion works. So yeah, just letting you know. If you don't have an NVIDIA card, you probably have a bad time locally, but that's what partner nodes and that's what the cloud is for. We got Comfy Cloud, we have partner nodes. I'm going to get into all that and what all that means. But yeah, basically, all this stuff you can run either locally or on the cloud. Every one of these workflows, if you were to click on one of them, you can download it, run it locally, or you can try it on Comfy Cloud here, and that'll just basically bring you right over to Comfy Cloud with this workflow all loaded up and ready to go. So if we go back to the hub, we can see everything is separated here by our partner nodes, video, image, text to image, and image edit. We're going to work on these categories and work on the filtration and make it better for figuring out what you're trying to do. But essentially, if I want to make an image and I know I want to go from a prompt, I can click on text to image, and then I'm going to see all the different models, all the different workflows that do text to image. So this is a really cool way to just dive in, try to understand what's going on, and anything with that edits or does things, we have this slider system so you can see the before and after of what's happening. So generally it's useful when something does an edit or something, you can see with this little slider what it does. It's super helpful for visualizing what these workflows do. But if it's just an image, it probably just makes an image. If it's just a video, it probably just makes a video. And if you want to learn more, all you have to do is click on one of them, and then there's a human wrote this, and then an AI wrote all of this. So this big blurb of text here at the bottom will help you understand what's happening, but do remember that this was AI generated. This was actually written by the human, so this will be a little more descriptive up here in the top right. We also have these tags. We're going to expand this as well, but it's got image generation, image, text to image. It's using the Z image turbo model. And this is what you can do. You want to learn what that means. You could just go Google Z image turbo, read about it, or you can just try it. That's the beauty of this, is you kind of explore it as you work through it. So when you see partner nodes, what that means is that node does not run on our servers or on your local machine. It runs on one of our partners' servers, and we access it through your Comfy Cloud Credits account. So you just fill up your Comfy Credits account, then it works across all of our partners, our cloud system. And then when you're working locally, you use that exact same credit pool to access partner nodes. So if you're on a Mac, if you're on an AMD machine, and you can't make videos because your GPU is just not designed for it, you can use partner nodes to bridge that gap. So there's always a way to access state-of-the-art models. The thing is, you just at some point you end up having to pay for the compute, whether it's local or through API or through the rented GPUs. But yeah, basically access is important. Just being able to actually use anything you want, then connect anything you want together. That's the beauty of Comfy. So yeah, we've talked just a little bit about the hub. Let's find a workflow and look at what it does when we go into it. So let's just try an image generation model for now, just because they're really easy. So let's start with this Z image turbo text to image thing. So if I wanted to run this locally, I would just download workflow and run it locally. But today we're going to focus on Comfy Cloud because it's a lot easier for beginners. If you're a beginner and you've never been to Comfy Cloud before you click on try on Comfy Cloud, you can actually say up here, try Comfy Cloud for free. Click up there and that'll help you sign up for Comfy Cloud. I'm already signed up, so it's going to just take me straight in. But yeah, if you just click on that, you sign up with any email account, you're going to get a bursary of credits to play with and try stuff out. So yeah, just remember the more intensive the task you're trying to do is, the more credits it'll take. So making images, making stuff like that is all very low credits, but making videos and things like that, it starts to escalate. So just pay attention and I'll show you where to look for that. So yeah, let's just click on try on Comfy Cloud, and then I'll jump over to this tab. So it basically just loads up the workflow on Comfy Cloud, and it's going to say, do you want to open this shared workflow? And you just say, yeah, open the workflow. This will also show you assets that are involved in the workflow if they're being imported, just so you're aware of what's being pulled onto your computer or onto the workspace rather. So yeah, we hit open workflow, and then we've gone straight from Comfy Hub to Comfy Cloud. Easy, easy breezy, beautiful. Excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold, everybody. Please forgive the coughing. All right. Here we are. This is Comfy UI. I'm on Comfy Cloud. After you've signed in, you'll see something similar to this. The nice thing about the hub workflows, they're all good to go. You can just hit run and just see what it does. Any one of the workflows will just immediately work. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to connect anything, but you can absolutely explore what's happening. So let's have a look. Up here on the left, we have our, let me actually zoom in on this so everybody can see. There we go. All right, hopefully that's big enough. Let me know if y'all can't see it. Oh, and that's okay. All right, so up here on the left, we have our main menu, and that's got all the settings and all the things you can start looking through here, you know, file management, editing, theme stuff, all the settings, things like that. And then up here is all your workflow settings. So there's two separate settings. One is for the workflow you're working on, and one is sort of more global for the whole app. And here we have a button that switches from this graph view that we have to an app mode view, which I'll go into in a minute, which is a more simple way to access these workflows. And in fact, some of the workflows you click on will just open in app mode and they'll be nice and easy to use. So I'll show you how to go back and forth, but it is just clicking this button to take you back and forth between app mode and regular mode, graph mode. So on your left here, you have the assets toolbar. And if you click on that, it'll bring up all of your assets. This is all the stuff that you've been making on cloud. If you don't have anything, that's fine. You haven't made anything yet. But yeah, it basically just lets you access all the things that you've made. And the really cool thing is you can actually just drag any of these on to your thing and it will rebuild the workflow that made that image. So now you can always just go back and pull it on and get back to work, which is a very nice way of working. Let's go back to our Z image thing. So that's our assets panel. It has a filter. It has settings here for like viewing what you want it to look like. You can look at list view or grid view, depending on how big you want the thumbnails. And then here you can switch between your generations and your imported stuff. So this is all the things that we've dragged in. And that just kind of goes on forever. You can select multiple ones as well and download multiple assets, which is nice. Or you could select one, hold shift and grab a whole bunch of them and then hit go. It's very nice. All right, that's the asset side. The node library, you don't have to really worry about this until you want to start diving in, but the one thing to look for is blueprints. This is a really cool way to learn basic functions in Comfy. You can kind of drag these in and see how they work. And these are all very basic sort of functions that you can tie together to do things. You got image editing, image to video, pose to image, text to image. This will be a way of doing it. You can drag it on, look at it, see how it works, and then make your tweaks. It's just a great way to explore the landscape. Our model library, this is all the models that are on cloud. You can, it works just like the assets thing, except you can go search by model, search by file format. You can import your own models if you're on a pro or creator account. So you can import your own LoRa's and import your own stuff to do your own generations. And then also you can see the stuff you've imported separately from all the models. And then everything is just kind of mashed together. This is a giant model repository. We're trying to just kind of cover all the bases, basically. Yeah, if there are models you want, please let us know on the Discord. We can add them to the big bucket. Workflows, this is all your saved workflows in this particular account. When you save a workflow, it shows up here and stays here. So you can always come back to it if you want. And also every workflow is saved in every output. So every time you make something, every time you make an image, every time you make a video, you can always go back in the assets panel, drag it back in like I showed you, and just rebuild that workflow immediately because it's all stored in the image. Very handy. Apps, these are app mode workflows that I've made. They're separate than these are graph mode and these are app mode, but they're essentially the same idea. They're workflows that will generate stuff. This is a workflow, by the way, this thing on the right, if I haven't explained that yet. And then templates. This is our big template library. These are all the sort of best ways to do things. This is all internal inside the app. And then in the Comfy Hub, we have more experimental workflows from our creators. So this is a great place to go when you need the absolute, like, how do I do something? This is great. Comfy Hub is for more experimental workflows, but we also have a lot of the main workflows on Comfy Hub as well. We're trying to sort of make it as one-to-one as we can. But this templates repository is the sort of source of truth for the official way to do most things. Not a lot of custom nodes, not a lot of extra stuff that you'll need to run these, maybe models and things like that. But most of these are native and they have native support. Excuse me. So just like the Comfy Hub, we have popular use cases, utility, getting started, node basics. A lot of these are really good for just trying to understand different concepts in generative AI or how to do things. And then they're also split up by modality. So you've got image generation, video generation, audio generation, 3D models, LLMs, and then all of our partner nodes are in one place. So these would be all the external API nodes. So when you see these API nodes, just remember they cost credits. And if you go to, let's try, let's do a Kling one. Kling. All templates. Sorry, Kling. Should be just a Kling 3. There we go. Let's do Kling 3 text to image. So if you were to load up one of these, you're going to see it tells you how many credits per run it'll cost. So this image generator will take 6 credits per run, and then you can see your credits up at the top in the thing up there. Basically, each provider costs a different amount. Images cost less than videos. The length of the video, the size of the video, the size of the image, all these things have a difference. As you increase things, like if we go to if you were to go to let's do Kling 3 video. Let's do this one. So you'll see this one. If I do a 1080p 5 seconds, it's going to cost 118 credits because it's a video model. As you increase the duration, it's going to tell you how much the cost increases. So there's a running total at the top of each node that lets you know how much it's going to cost to do the generation. Just sort of keep your head around how much it's going to cost to do the run. Models that run on the cloud are the sort of the best way to explore because the cloud GPU time is one of the cheapest ways to sort of use it. Same with local, and then finding all the inexpensive model providers for doing iterations and learning how they work is really good. And then when you're ready and you're working on a project and you have everything's ready to go and you need top quality, that's when you go reach for the state-of-the-art models. So it's very nice to have the options to be able to explore, and then you can go reach for CDance or something where it's you just need top quality and you don't care about the cost. But yeah, it's important to pay attention to this to see how many credits you get per month and that sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, just remember video models can get very expensive, and a lot of these video models are designed for companies that are running this stuff. So as a person, you need to decide what a generation is worth essentially. But yeah, if you use Kling is a really affordable model. There's Nano Banana, all that kind of stuff. All the image stuff is very, very good. It's just when you get into the videos with audio at 1080p, 15 seconds with like lip sync and stuff like that, when things start to get out of hand. But that'd be a more corporate type of situation probably. All right, let's have a look at the hub again. Oh yeah, we didn't even run that first from workflow. So yeah, we're back on this workflow that we grabbed off from the hub. Let's just talk about what a workflow is. We have our model link here on the left. This is pretty standard in a lot of our workflows. Um, the markdown notes on the left here, they sort of explain anything you really need to know to make this workflow work. And also, all the native workflows generally have links to all the models. So if you were to grab this and use it locally, you could go click on all these links, put the files in the folders, and then the workflow is going to run. And then we have these, usually have these folder structures here that explain to you where these files go. So you'd go into your Comfy UI models folder and you'd put the Quen text encoder in the text encoders folder. You'd put the LoRa in the LoRa folder. You'd put the diffusion model in the diffusion models folder and put the VE in the VE folder. You wouldn't know to do this intrinsically, but after you've done it a few times, it'll all start to make sense. But on cloud, you don't have to worry about any of that. All this stuff's all connected and ready to go. You literally just hit go. So if we hit run, it's going to actually go through this workflow and do the thing. You may notice that this workflow is only one node, and that's because it's a subgraph. So this is a group essentially of a bunch of nodes all showing you just in one node what's going on. So if you click this enter subgraph button at the bottom, it's going to show you what's actually happening under the hood here. And this is how you learn how diffusion works and what it is and what we're doing. You can actually see every single thing that's connected. So we're loading our diffusion model, we're loading our clip, we're loading our VE, and we're setting the size of our canvas. We're sending out the prompt. We're sending out the negative prompt, which is nothing because we're using a CFG of 1, which I can explain in a minute. And then we've got our K-sampler settings. We're making our image. We're decoding our image back into human readable and sending it on back out into the final result. So, and then all we've done on the left here is exposed the things that we need. We need access to decide what model we want. We need access to decide what clip model. What access to decide what VE, access for the canvas size. We need access for the prompt, and we need access for the amount of steps. But the rest of these values mean nothing to me when I'm creating. So basically, I go back to ZImage Turbo. All the stuff I want is exposed. All the stuff that I don't need is not exposed. And then you can essentially do cool stuff like copying and pasting this, and then having stuff where you make very slight generations or very slight changes. And then you can keep adding stuff and doing more and more in one workflow and things like that. And then if you really want, you can then take things like this, make this whole thing a subgraph or make these two a subgraph. You can keep subgraphing and graphing and building and all this fun stuff. So yeah, that's the very basics of using Comfy Hub. Let's go back over to Comfy Hub, share this tab. All right. Click on Comfy Hub. This is our main page. The main page is going to show you all the cool stuff you can do. If you click on most popular, or if you just go to it normally, it'll be like all the most popular workflows. This is all the top hits and stuff like that. But if you click here on most popular and change it to newest, you're going to get to see all the cool new stuff that has been added recently. So we try to add new stuff every day, so you'll be able to look it up, and then everything's cool. And yeah, we have this new product workflow. We have LTX 2.3 video LoRa's, IC LoRa's, or sorry, text to video LoRa's from VR Game Dev Girl 84, who will be a creator very soon. And we won't have to use my shady version of her workflow. We'll get an actual one from them and have all that kick in. Ingy, who's internet famous for making the inflated Breaking Bad video, just released this really cool action figure one that turns anything into an action figure. So let's check that out. We'll go to try on Comfy Cloud. Oh, I'm just seeing some questions here. Oh, what about custom nodes? Okay, so custom nodes, we're adding them as we can. And we're trying to add as many as we can that don't break on cloud. So we are working on it, and we've added, I think, 80 or 90, almost 100 maybe, custom node packs. And we're going to keep adding as we can. But yeah, some of them we run into issues, where they modify things that don't play nice with cloud and things like that. But we're trying to find good workarounds and things like that to make it more accessible for everybody. Yeah, cool. So yeah, this is an example of it's telling me, oh, hey, this workflow is going to import an image. Is that cool? And it's just the import. It's just the input image for the workflow. So of course that's fine. So just hit import access, import, and then yeah, this is a so as this comes up, you can ignore it as it came up. Some of our creators don't subgraph stuff. They just make the workflow very exposed and open. And that's great too, because this just explains, right from the get go how everything works. You essentially just drop your image in the left here and hit go. And Ingy was nice enough to add all the links as well. So you can go grab those models if you want to run it locally. So let's probably do this one. Let's turn me into an action figure. I just hit Control Enter, which is the same as hitting Run. I know it's a beginner stream. I'll try not to use shortcuts. So yeah, please, if you have questions about Comfy, if I'm going too fast, if something doesn't make sense, please just yell in the chat and I will try to get to it as we go. I don't want to leave anybody behind. But Comfy, as you know, is a multi-headed hydra and we can just jump in a million different directions. So if you are confused, you need more information, you need better description of something, please shout. I will try to do my best to demystify this stuff because this process of just loading up workflows on Comfy Cloud and playing with them is a really great way to learn about all this stuff because you don't have to know anything. You can just everything works out of the box. You just hit it and then you can start tweaking and see what breaks. So on the cloud, Black Tom asked, is there a list where you can see if a custom node has been added or available? Yeah, excuse me. If you go to node library and then go to all of the custom nodes are all listed here. So if there's anything you don't see and anything you want, please let us know in the Discord and we will investigate it and see if we can get it on or not. If you don't see it, there's a chance that we tried already to get it on. So if it's a super popular node and you don't see it, it's probably because we can't add it. But that doesn't mean that's not the case all the time. So please, if there's something you use all the time that you want to try, let us know and we'll try and get it working. If we access an API locally, is the generation run on our local hardware? This is a good question. No. API access means you are calling out to a server somewhere else that is doing the generation and then sending it back to you. That's how partner nodes work. Partner nodes are essentially API nodes. That's the idea. You're sending the call out to another GPU because usually the model is closed or the model requires so much inference that like normal computers can't do it. So if you imagine something like Nano Banana, even if they released the model, I highly doubt any of us would be able to actually run that model. It's probably running on some bonkers GPUs in their server cluster somewhere. Just had an initialization problem. This happens sometimes. You can just click up here on your job and just cancel it and then hit run again. I think my internet's been a little wonky lately. So if your generation's taken too long to start, just check that. So yeah, but the nice thing is the generation is saved locally on your machine when you run the partner node, when you run the API node. If you're running it locally, it still interacts as if your machine is local. It just does that one particular job on the service, the closed server. Almost always a partner node or API node, there is no local version of it. Almost always it's a closed model that we're accessing that way because there is no other way to access it. Anything we can add natively, we really try to. So this model right now is not an API node. This is running on the cloud. It is loading Qwen image edit 2511 on the cloud, which means you could absolutely just run this exact same workflow locally. So this workflow is great. It turns you into an action figure. Do unused credits roll over to the next month or do they expire? I'm not sure. Check the TOS. There is something in there about that. I can't remember exactly how it works. I think they do expire, but it's only after a certain amount of time. But please check the TOS. Don't listen to me. Excuse me. Sorry, everybody. All right, let me see. Let's try this one. The prompt for this is just action this scene or action the scene. It's great. So yeah, this workflow specifically, I can show you why this is a cool workflow. Let's say I want to make a video where I want to be an action figure, but I want to actually direct what my action figure looks like. Basically, I could just upload a picture of myself and ask a video model, turn this guy into an action figure. But what Ingi has done here is trained a LoRa that does a very specific, good job of making specific action figures. And what's really cool about that is now all these action figures, all these images that you make, they're going to live in the same universe. So when I start bringing those images to life with an image to video model, everything's consistent. This is the actual key to character consistency is understanding your source material matters, your input images matter, your input prompts matter. The models are getting better and better and better. The like CDance is crazy at this. It's very intuitive. You can have prompts that are like, make me something cool. And it doesn't just like make nonsense. It'll just, make something cool. This works both ways. If you don't define characteristics, you essentially are just allowing the soup to take over. So defining your style, defining your character, defining their look, defining their personality, all that stuff, that never changes across the board. You need that in traditional media, you need that in traditional art, you need that in traditional storytelling. All of that stuff resonates down the pipe as you work through AI. So it's important to think of AI as not as a thing that makes everything for you, but as something that it can accelerate existing skill sets, accelerate existing traditional methods into things that are just really, really useful. The replacement angle to me generally seems short-sighted just because, humans will always make stuff. So why not empower everyone to make stuff? I think this might be because I'm on our work account. I don't actually run into this problem when I'm on my local account, so you probably won't run into this active dispatcher problem. I love these like joints on the neck and stuff. It's incredible. Look at those arms. But yeah, my greater point was, let's go back. This image here is a good one. So let's just, I'm just going to download this, even though I already have it here. So I said earlier about image to video. So let's bring this to life. How do we do that? Let's go back to Comfy Hub and have a look at the different workflows. So I want to bring that person to life, and I want to use a pretty much state-of-the-art video model to do it. I'm going to go to partner nodes. I'm going to go to video, and that's going to start breaking down these categories into all the different things. And I think for this, I actually want to use Grok. So yeah, let's try Grok. Oh, I just realized I wasn't showing the hub. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so I literally just loaded up a Grok model. Let me go back to the hub to show you the one I was talking about. Share this tab instead. So yeah, I clicked over here on partner nodes, and I clicked on video, and I went to Grok video generation. We could also do a LTX 2.3 image to video generation too. Those will run locally. We don't have to use a partner node. I just prefer Grok. I think it just looks really good, and the cost is good. So let's try it out. Slide over to the Grok. Is it production ready for VFX? Can we export EXR with AOVs? Well, you would need something that actually generates stuff like that. So there are a few new models that do HDR, which is very interesting. We're working on getting proper EXR save in and out, load and save. Yeah, the short answer is not yet, but there is a lot of movement in that area right now. LTX 2.3 just dropped a IC LoRa that does HDR. And there's also a image model that does HDR as well. IC LoRa, I believe, or LoRa for, I want to say Klein, maybe? Quen, I can't remember. But the point is, it's very cool. We're getting there. Could you please clarify whether local and cloud accounts are separate and how I can migrate my workflows from cloud to local? So most stuff will go from cloud to local pretty easily. Going from local to cloud can be difficult because if the custom node pack that you're using locally is not on cloud, it won't work. You'll have to find like replacement nodes if they exist. If we don't have them, then you'll have to ask us on the Discord how to proceed. Ideally, if you build your workflows on the cloud, then you can just share them with other people. Usually you can just pull those workflows right onto your local machine and with a bit of editing, get it going again. But yeah, it's harder to go the other way, local to cloud. The account is shared. You log into your same account locally and on the cloud, and the API credits are the same as your Comfy Cloud credits, and they work with all the partner nodes, both locally and on the cloud. So it's all the same account, all the same credits. Okay, so here we are in the workflow. If we zoom in on it, we'll see we can load an image. We have our Grok video thing. It says 89 credits per run. So we can think about that and then run it. So I'm going to load up that image that I just made, which is, I just downloaded it. So let me grab it. So we've got our action figure. Bring this action figure to life. He's yelling about Comfy UI. Let's do 720p. And we're going to, this res, I think, is about like 3x4-ish. Try and match your aspect ratio to your input image if you can. It helps. 3x4. Yeah, probably. Okay. So yeah, our image is in here. It's going into the image input of Grok Video. We have our prompt, bring this action figure to life. He's yelling about Comfy UI. We've set our resolution here to 720, aspect ratio of 3x4, and we'll just do a 6-second clip, and it'll cost about 89 credits. Let's just run that. So now when it runs, it's going to go run the job and then send that out to Grok, and then bring it back out when it's done. Yeah, we're really hoping the EXR stuff takes off. It could be big for people who need to actually get videos and images out of computer land and into broadcast land and things like that. So down here you'll see a little status bar, and it's telling you how long the job has been running. We don't often get the information from our providers about like where the job is. So usually this is just a count up counter. But when we're running jobs on cloud or running jobs locally, if we have access to the progress bar, that's usually represented as well. So you'll be able to see.
Comfy UI change. The node system is so intuitive. You have to try it. Comfy UI is a game changer. The node system is so intuitive. You have to try it. Comfy UI is a game changer. The node system is so intuitive. You have to try it.
That's really good. Let's try this exact same thing with LTX 2.3. Did that audio come through? Let me know if it didn't. I can try and get it working. Let's try LTX 2.3 image to video. We'll try that same image and that same prompt. And I'm just going to guess this is 720 by 1280. So you'll see here all these sort of subgraphs, all these concepts are essentially the same. There's going to be more options when it's a local model or local sort of generation, but that's okay. Again, you don't have to touch anything with these basic workflows. Then you can go read all this stuff, and generally there'll be some sort of tips or guides on what to do, what not to do. But really, these are 96 gig GPUs on the cloud. You can't really hurt them. So let's try LTX and see what it does. The partner nodes video models are generally like a little better, but LTX 2.3 is an incredible model for local, and it's incredibly expandable. It's the IC LoRa situation is wild. If you check out last week's stream or the week before, I forget, we went into all the ways that IC LoRa's can change and affect your video, video outpainting, color grading, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yes! You'd have nigh, nah, comfy UI. Yes!
Nailed it.
You'd have nigh, nah, comfy UI. Yes! You'd have nigh, nah.
Right. How about movement? For example, the avatar grabs the camera and repositions it. Yeah, let's try that. The action figure grabs the camera and repositions it violently. Oh, it'll probably kick for that word violently, so I'll just leave it alone. All right, I'm going to run it on Grok again because I got a better generation from Grok. Let's go back to Comfy Hub and just explore some of the other cool stuff that's available before we run out of time. So yeah, those are the partner nodes, video stuff, image stuff. Image edit is a very interesting subgenre. Grok image edit's very good. Nano Banana is very good. Quen image edit 2511 is local, very good. Yes, LTX 2.3 does need more detailed prompts. That's correct. That's another interesting thing. Some of the models need more detailed prompts. You don't actually need to prompt them yourself. We have LLM nodes, so you can say, let's say this prompt sucks, right? So if we make a string, like a string node, we just paste our prompt in here, I can load up an OpenAI ChatGPT node and put the string into the prompt. Let's save that. Let me think about this. String go to files? No. So we need we need to do this. Make this prompt a lot more descriptive. Really get into the details and describe the character's clothing, accessories, location, and personality. So you can pop that in there, and you can also describe the character in the input image. Really get into the details and describe the character's clothing, accessories, and personalities. Then make this prompt a lot better, more descriptive and exciting. Return only the prompt. So basically, we're just adding an LLM into the mix, and we can plug our image into it, and then this string can be our prompt. So basically, you can use an LLM to make a prompt more juicy, or you could even embed the actual. Oh, I'm only showing Comfy Hub. Sorry, guys. Yeah, amazing. All right, let's go back. So yeah, I'm just gonna start this all over again. So we have our prompt. Our prompt was bring this action figure to life. He's yelling about Comfy UI. So if I add an open AI node, if this is your first time on the stream, this happens all the time. So I get used to it. So let's grab this string from this node I made and drag it into the prompt here. So this is the whole prompt now. Describe the character in the input image, really get into details and describe the character's clothing, accessories, location, and personality. Then make this prompt a lot better, more descriptive and exciting, and return only the prompt. Bring this action figure to life. He's yelling about Comfy UI. So I'm feeding all of this into ChatGPT. And then I'm also feeding my picture into ChatGPT because I've asked it to describe the input image. So this prompt that it makes is going to be like an actual prompt that I can use in my generation. And this should make it better. It should. Let's try it. It'll probably just roast me and just like get really descriptive about the picture. That's usually what it does. Oh, the other thing I forgot to do was you can, out of the string, you can add a node called preview as text. And then it'll actually tell you what the node says on the way out. There are local LLMs too, absolutely on cloud. We have a whole series of Quen VL model stuff. And then I think there's a few others. We also have text to speech and a few other really cool local solutions. We try to have a local solution for basically anything that we have partner nodes for, unless it's a technology that just doesn't.
We happer on Tech Grew with Comfy UI. Salt bomb!
I mean, that's a way better video.
Grew with Comfy UI.
Let's see what the prompt is. I'll run it again to try to get it to spit out the prompt. We'll see what the LLM came up with. Ultra detailed, hyper realistic toy action figure of a passionate middle aged software guru, mid shout about Comfy UI. Sculpted silver black slicked hair. Why, thank you. Thick salt and pepper beard. Yeah. Piercing emerald green eyes. Really? They're brown. Framed by glossy black rectangular glasses. Nailed it. Wearing a crisp sky blue button down shirt with a subtle matte finish. That's really cool. He's frozen in dynamic pose, mouth wide. This is a much better prompt for making a video generation than the crap that I typed in there. So, yeah, this is a really good tip to just use LLMs to expand your prompts if you want. All right, let's go back over to Comfy Hub for real. And then there's all these really cool use case workflows I want to get into. Rob has done a lot of them. Go look at Rob's profile. So this is going to be stuff when you see stuff on Twitter, like, oh, how did they do that? Just check Rob's account. He's pretty much, he's just kind of covering all this stuff. So anytime you see some really cool effect on Twitter, come back here and check and see if Rob's got a workflow for it, because he probably does. I really like this character and outfit to fashion video one. I think I can do me. Let's do with the action figure. Yeah, I think Ernie's up. Ernie's up, yo. Let's just run it. So let's have a look at this workflow, see if we can figure it out together. So it looks like it takes a picture of you, a picture of these really cool glasses, and a picture of this GPU chain, which is very dope. And then asks Nano Banana to describe the subject's outfit. Oh, I'm going to be wearing a fashionable crocodile skin jacket. Underneath is a white tank top tucked into crocodile skin pants, Cartier glasses, and a large diamond chain with an RTX 6000 Pro. Beautiful. So it's going to ask Nano Banana to make that image. So it's going to make that image here. Once it's done, Nano Banana doesn't usually take longer than 60 seconds. 45 to 60 seconds, sometimes less. They might be hammered right now too. Sometimes they're very busy. There we go. Oh yeah, looks just like me. Nailed it. I think it's because we started with the action figure and we're describing an actual human, so it's I look all plastic and sweaty, which is going to be fun. So now it is going to make a 2x2 grid image of 4 frames of me in different poses. And then you could just edit this prompt if you want different poses and things like that. Just zoom in on it here. A lot of what modern prompting is trying to figure out this kind of stuff to get exactly what you want on the way in. Then we can select the images we want and basically send them on out. So someone asked earlier if partner nodes run in parallel, and they absolutely do. Any partner node runs can be run in parallel. So in this case, we're making a grid of 4 twice at the same time. So we're making a grid of 4 images and we're splitting them. And we're also making a grid of 4 images and splitting them. You can tell because both of these nodes are blue. That means they're lit up right now. And the nice part about parallel runs is they take the same amount of time. So it's a great way to split up your workflow. If you are gonna if you find you're gonna have to make a bunch of images and things like that, you can do it. The speed at which this runs is not related to whether this is cloud or local because this particular workflow is using partner nodes. So this is running on Google servers. So we are just sending commands out to Google servers and waiting for them to return. It would be exactly the same on anyone's platform. Generations take time. Here's our cool images. We got, it looks like Russell Crowe. It doesn't look like me, but that's okay. So here I can see all the cool pictures and I need to decide what order I want them to come in. Oh no, it's just going to do an order. So what you can do is actually stop this by stopping the workflow here. And then you can say, I want image 8, then image 7, then image 6, then image 0, then image 2, then image 5, then image 3, then image 8. And then it's going to order the keyframes from this batch, and then it's going to make a generation. So it's already done that here. So it's going to go from this, move this away, this to this to this to this to this to this to this. It definitely looks like Russell Crowe. And back to this. So this is going to make a bunch of generations all at the same time. And now it's making 7 videos at the same time. Then when it's done, you can just slap them together. Can you do parallel multi-GPU or network local? A multi-GPU is... multi-GPU is generally you won't get the gains that you think you'll get from it because you can't share VRAM. So multiple GPUs can only run multiple jobs in parallel, which is definitely a thing and definitely speeds you up. But it's actually quite difficult to orchestrate. Moving memory from GPU to RAM can get weird when you have multiple GPUs. So yeah, I don't want to say it won't work. I just want to say it's that's some pretty heavy hacker stuff, and a lot of the time, the gain that you think you're going to get from multi GPUs is not worth just sort of running the job later or figuring out a more serialized way to do it. It's parallelized generation or diffusion is quite difficult and never quite works the way you think it will. That being said, large batches, concurrent runs of the same model, things like that. Yeah, totally. I mean, people do it for server infrastructure. All depends on your use case, like everything else. Cling start and end frame. We got a time on these? No. All right. Where's let them cook? Let them cook. All right, let's go over to the hub again and just have another look at some of these workflows before let this finish. So yeah, Minta has done some really cool illustration stuff, reference to video of like non-human characters. This split stack workflow is very cool. You might have seen a bunch of these type of videos on your feed lately. This is a really cool way of doing it. Oh, I didn't talk about app mode. So yeah, let's look at an app mode workflow real quick. So I have this workflow. It just uses an LTX 2.3 image or IC LoRa to make illustrated stuff more realistic. It's called Anime 2 Real. Let's load it up. So this is going to load up into what we call app mode. So this is a more simplistic way to access stuff in Comfy. It's a little big still. I'll just zoom in a bit more so you can see it. But just like a subgraph, only the stuff the user needs to edit is exposed on the left, on the right here. You can go in and upload a new video, set your frame count and how many frames you want to skip at the beginning, your target resolution, and just hit run. And you can just run stuff in this mode without ever having to look at the node graph. That's what I was talking about with this little button over here. So then also we have the graph version where you can understand what's all going on. But if you don't care, you can always go to app mode, build an app mode version of any of your workflows and access it this way. So there's always different methods of accessing things with Comfy. You can also access Comfy completely headlessly. It is an API server that is running on a computer in your background or on the cloud. And you can access it through just web URL calls and things like that. So lots to explore with Agentic. I've done a stream on Agentic control of Comfy UI and some other cool stuff. Lots of really interesting ways to play with this tool. Oh, they're coming through now. Oh, yeah. Pretty cool. Wow. So I can just quickly stitch those together with either an agent or resolve or anything. And then I'll have a looping video of Russell Crowe holding a GPU. I don't think I look like Russell Crowe. I think it thinks I look like Russell Crowe. That's interesting. Right on, friendos. Well, that's essentially the basics of Comfy. If you want to learn more, please come back to the stream. Come back, hang out, come to the Discord, come to all the places, comfy.org. We are on all the socials, Comfy UI, pretty much everywhere. Yeah, follow us, and please try it out. Have some fun. Yeah, I know it looks scary, but it doesn't have to be scary. It's okay. This is just a crazy workflow. They're not all crazy, but eventually you won't find this crazy. Eventually it'll all just make sense. But until then, we have app mode. We have simplified workflows. We have simple ways to access this stuff, and we're trying to make it easier and easier for everybody. So please, if you see a gap, you see some way that we can make this easier for you, or something that just like does not make sense, please start shouting in the Discord. Let us know about it. Let me know about it. You can at me on X and all the places. We're always interested to hear product feedback and how we can make this a better experience for you. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out Comfy Hub. It's still new. It's still fresh. It'll get better and better and better as things go on. And someone asked about VR Game Dev Girl 84's workflows. Not only are we going to get her workflows on, we already have her LoRa's on cloud, and we're bringing her on as a creator on the Comfy Hub as well, so that the workflows will be correct. Right on. So yeah, any more creatives, anyone who's making workflows and you feel like you want to be in Comfy Hub for testing, please reach out to me in DMs and I'll see what we can do to get you in for alpha testing. But I can't guarantee everybody. And also, the best way is just to apply with this button up at the top here, apply to join. That's the best way to let us know that you want to be part of this. So thanks everybody, and we really appreciate you coming out every week and hanging out with us. And we'll see you real soon. Bye bye, everybody.